Hey everybody, it's Jax again from the Popcorn Review Podcast. This is my episode 65, AEW Dynamite, Building for Full Gear and Blood and Guts. This episode here actually started off with Tony Schiavone in the ring, about to make a special announcement, and Samoa Joe and the Ops actually interrupt him before he could get out what he needs to say. And they actually start surrounding the ring, and Joe's pissed off for what happened last week with Tony Schiavone allowing Hangman to dress up as him and actually attack the Ops. So they actually start circling the ring. They bring security out, and in the midst of that, you had Hangman come out to protect Tony Schiavone, and the Ops pretty much goes, y'all just gave us two options to beat both of y'all down, two birds with one stone. They go into the ring. Before they could start anything off, though, you had Hook and Eddie Kingston come out. Eddie, I know I got a little gray in my beard, buddy, but your beard is super gray. You look a lot older than I thought. Not sure that's the look you're going for. You know, you are the Mad King, so maybe that's where that's going with it. But Eddie, I'm glad to see you back. But they came in, backed up the champion, and Hook pretty much says, "Yo, I challenge you. Y'all think y'all the champs? Y'all think y'all the man? How about the three of us versus the three of you later on for the main event?" And boom, sealed and delivered. Tony Schiavone says, "Hey, it's been announced or it's been approved by Tony Khan. The Ops versus Hangman versus Hook versus Eddie Kingston for the trios titles. It's going to be one hell of a match later on in the day, though. You did have Orange Cassidy versus Claudio. A best of three gets like an advantage in the Blood and Guts match. So this match was actually pretty good. I personally thought Claudio was going to win this match. Actually, no, Claudio did win the match. I'm sorry. I thought Orange Cassidy was going to win this match, and it just didn't turn out that way. It was a good match, Orange with his, BS, trying to put his hands in his pockets and just trying to get in people's heads. Orange could wrestle. He acts like he don't know what he's doing a lot of times, and he's like, whatever. But he's a good wrestler. And Claudio's a fucking monster. He was fucking like tossing Orange Cassidy around. They both did their things. They both hit their spots. I think Claudio went for like an uppercut or whatever in the air, comes down with the orange punch OC. Claudio goes for it again. This time grabs the uppercut. One, two, three. Beats Orange Cassidy. Didn't expect it personally. I thought Orange Cassidy was going to win, like I mentioned. But right now the Death Riders are up 1-0. So good match. But again, Death Riders are up 1-0 with another match later on in the night. You had a Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe face to face, and it was really weird. Now, I don't know if anybody else caught it. Excuse me, I'm going to grab some water. I don't know if anybody caught it, but Mark Briscoe's like, yeah, give me one more chance. And at first, Kyle's like, nah, you ain't getting no other chance. You've already had your chances. And then Don kind of gets in. He was like, man, what do I need to do to get another shot? You want me to put my career on the line? He was like, hold on now. I don't want you to do that. I respect you. That's something you need to do. And he was like, it's like you're making a deal with the devil. Who calls himself the devil in AEW? We haven't heard of MJF in a couple months. Is he coming back to the family? Is he coming back at Full Gear? Jersey's not that far from Staten Island, so technically he could just take a train, take a bus, and I know he won't, but you know what I'm saying. Take a train, take a bus, cab ride, and end up in Jersey. Maybe an hour tops with traffic, maybe an hour and a half. So are they mentioning the devil because MJF is going to cost Mark Briscoe his career, make sure that he loses to Kyle Fletcher, and then joins the family at Full Gear? That's the first thing that popped into my head. He's like, "Oh, I'm making a deal with the devil," and Briscoe like, "No, but I'm the devil." The only person that's called himself the devil in AEW has been MJF. I think this is a foreshadowing of MJF showing up at Full Gear, guys. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. But honestly, first thing, as soon as you said I'm making a deal with the devil, I thought about MJF. So I do believe MJF's going to come back, cost Briscoe his career, and Briscoe's either going to be a trainer or run off into the sunset with a loss against Kyle Fletcher. But y'all let me know. And it is a DQ match, so the entire fucking Don Cal family can show up to that match and cause problems. But right after that, though, you had Don Callis like pouring it on for the Young Bucks, trying to, hey, Young Bucks, y'all saw what I did? I got you that limo. I got the care package under the seat, like just pouring it on. Brings the whole family. I was like, yeah, man, y'all need a family with y'all, man. Like y'all being treated like jobbers. I don't want that for y'all no more. I want y'all to be treated like the professional athletes, the founding father that you guys are. I want you guys to be back up to where you guys were. And they're like, okay, I think this is a foreshadowing of one of two things. The Don Callis family is going to be pissed that the Bucks don't want to join and Kenny Omega's going to save them, or the Bucks are going to be separated. One's going to join the family and one's going to be by himself. Either way, I'll be cool with it. Splitting up brothers and forcing them to go against each other, that's going to be an amazing, like standing across the ring from each other, that's going to be amazing. Or joining back with Kenny Omega, you know, getting back in Kenny's good graces, working their way back to Tony Khan to possibly win their status back. That's either way I'd be cool with. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Um, you did later have like the what's it called, the battle royal, or no, the tournament for the women's tag team champions. You had Athena and CEO versus Willow and Harley. Now I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be straight honest. I thought Athena and the CEO Mercedes Moné were gonna fucking dominate this match, and they did, but they lost. Harley Cameron ends up hitting a finisher on Athena. 1, 2, 3, the girls win, and they were both in shock. Harley and Willow were both like, "Oh man, I didn't see it coming." Um, Harley's still green. Her character, everyone loves her character. She's very likable. The puppet, the singing, all that. She's got a lot of charisma. Her in ring, she needs to work on. I'm not gonna lie about that. She needs to work on it. I'm just surprised they didn't put Mercedes and Athena farther into the rounds, especially that they're trying to get Mercedes more titles. So I'm just surprised they didn't go that well. It was a good match for the four. Willow definitely came with the hot tags a bunch of times. Harley was doing her thing. You even had Mercedes and Athena working well together as a tag team, better than what they were doing before when they just got together. So in all, Willow and Harley do move on to the next round. If I'm not mistaken, they wrestled the Sisters of Sin for the semifinals. It's going to be a decent match. Those two, I would say the Sisters of Sin would move on, but they just they allowed Willow and Harley to win, so I could be wrong. You guys let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let me know what y'all think, or who y'all picks are, I should say. You had Tony Schiavone finally announced the Casino Battle Royal for the national AEW National Championship that will be crowned at Full Gear. And he brings the two people to the ring first, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, which makes sense. They're faces now. Even though they got their little mafia persona or gangster persona, they're still the good guys right now, They've been fighting with the demand with Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, and they definitely showed that they're a different level. They're not just heels anymore. At least anti-heroes, if that makes sense. They started talking, Schiavone was like, hey, how is this going to work with you guys if the two of them end up having to wrestle each other? He was like, nothing. The AEW fans are going to win. They're going to see a tremendous match with these two gentlemen, and best man win. That's perfectly said. I would be okay with Bobby or Sheldon winning this title. But Ricochet and the Demand actually interrupt their conversation. And Ricochet goes, oh, I'm tired of you guys, you old heads. He goes, I'm surprised y'all can still move. He was like, I'm just letting y'all know now that I'm going to be the one to raise my hand as the inaugural AEW National Championship. I will say, though, MVP shit on Ricochet. He had him stumbling. He had him, stumbling on his words. He couldn't get out what he needed to say. So maybe in the future, keep MVP away from Ricochet. MVP is a definitely better talker. He did the same shit with Brian Keith and Big Bill. He fucking shit on them on the mic. He did the same thing to Ricochet, pretty much shut Ricochet down. But it would make Ricochet's heel run a lot better if he screws over Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin one more time and becomes the first ever AEW National Championship. Better story, guys. Holy shit. Yes, I want to see Bobby Lashley with singles gold. Same thing with Sheldon Benjamin, singles gold. But the way they're running the story, Ricochet makes the most sense. Now, I don't know who else is going to be in there. They're probably going to have like 15 to 20 guys. These are three of the guys, Ricochet, Bobby, and Sheldon, three of the guys in it. But what if a better story would be that Ricochet screws over the Hurt Syndicate one more time to become champion? I'll be down with that, guys. Honestly, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. You had Darby versus Daniel Garcia. Now, this match here, um, like I said, the last match I thought OC was gonna win, and I thought this was gonna be like a no contest because it did say that the third match with Moxley and Roderick Strong, if necessary. So I thought one of these matches was gonna follow the DQ or no contest. That wasn't the case. So Claudio won by himself, no help. Garcia didn't. And before the match, Moxley was like, Garcia, you better bring this shit home. I want to bring this shit home so we get that advantage. And he kind of got into his head a little bit, but Garcia went out, had a great match. Garcia, he's not a really big guy. If anything, he's just a smaller guy stature, just like Darby Allin. And Darby's a bigger presence, I would say, at least in my opinion. Good match between the two, but Death Rider rules. Pac gets involved. Almost cost Darby the match. Darby actually makes Garcia tap out with the Scorpion Deathlock. Now, he's made Moxley tap with the Scorpion Deathlock. He's made Garcia tap with the Scorpion Deathlock. He's also made Yuta tap with a Deathlock. The only people he hasn't tapped out as of right now is Pac and Claudio and Marina Shafir, if you want to count her. But again, he's literally had everybody in that team tap out to the Scorpion Deathlock. Is this a foreshadowing for the Death Riders to turn on Moxley after Blood and Guts or after Full Gear? What y'all think? Let me know. But again, this match, Darby wins. Is tied 1-1. There's going to be another match, I think, on Collision with Moxley versus Roderick Strong. I believe Moxley's going to win that. I'd be very shocked if Roderick Strong wins that, to be honest with you. Or Roddy, whatever they want to call him. I don't see that being the case. I think one of the matches should have went DQ, forcing that third match, but they went 1-1. It is what it is. Still good wrestling. I just knew that the Death Rider was going to win the exception or win, the favor for the match for Blood and Guts. But you guys let me know. But after that, it was just like all hell broke loose. Everybody was fighting. Roderick Strong came out. You had Conglomeration come out. You actually had Moxley take out Kyle O'Reilly. So he's still targeting Kyle. But in all, good wrestling, honestly. I can't complain. You had FTR, and they said FTR and Big Stokes, but we ain't see Stokely, so FTR came out, started talking shit. Oh, they want to shake the hands before we wrestle Brodito, and we're gonna wait here to shake their hands, and then the music plays nothing. They waited like bullshit. Like, look at the time, nobody's here. All right, well we'll go talk to Bandito's family. But in the midst of that, you had Stokely like standing in front of the fucking door, and you hear Bandito and Brody King banging on the fucking door, right? He's sitting there like looking at his phone, checking fucking emails, whatever the fuck he was doing. Then you had Dax and Cash talking shit to Brodito's parents or grandmother because she hasn't seen him in years. She's finally coming out to see him. They were in Texas, so made sense, closer to Mexico. Made a lot of sense for her to travel. He just kept fucking with her, calling her old, calling her, senile, just talking shit. And then Gravity, Bandito's brother, finally got pissed and started fighting back, but they started beating the shit out of him. But Big Stokes, Brody King, broke through that door, and he almost damn near shit himself, if not did. That was the funniest thing ever. Like, you literally see a big-ass arm come through and fucking try to yoke him up, and he's crying like a little bitch. So that was funny as all hell. Honestly, one of the best things I saw yesterday. Then you see Brodito come out, make the save his family, save his brother, and the FTR kind of rolls out like a little bitch and gets out of there. But can't wait to see it, guys. It's gonna be a hell of a match. I'm a little nervous though. I feel like FTR might pull that off, but what y'all think? Y'all let me know in the comments. Now, you had a match with Megan Bayne versus Mina because apparently Queen Aminata was injured. So that's two people that were injured for the Blood and Guts match. Queen Aminata, and you had Penelope Ford, so they're both injured. So that kind of sucks, but They were getting a lot of ring time, so maybe just too much wrestling hurt them, or just fell the wrong way, or is just part of the story. We'll see what happens. But Mina and Megan Bayne, I'm not gonna lie to you, I saw Megan Bayne winning this match regardless, whoever the fuck she was with. And Mina's just funny. She's over there like dancing and shit, shaking her hips, talking shit, making fun, telling Toni Storm she loves her because Toni Storm was there in commentary. It was just really, really weird. Like two totally different people, fun and quirky, down to business, badass from Megan Bayne. So it was just crazy. But a good match between the two ladies. A couple botches here and there, to be honest with you, with the slams and stuff, but decent match overall. Mina actually started getting the upper hand, and then her partner in the women's tag team tournament, Marina Shafir, starts beating down on Toni Storm. Mina looks over, kind of gets involved, or at least looks over that way. Megan Bayne takes advantage. 1, 2, 3. Megan Bayne team wins that, making her team one step closer, winning their advantage for the women's blood and guts. Now, did not expect that to happen. I did expect Megan Bayne to win no matter who it was. Just did not expect it to be because Marina Shafir got involved. So they kind of threw me on that one. Yeah, got me. Didn't expect it. Good overall match. But one thing I can say about Toni Storm, every time she talks, she's funny as hell on commentary. She kept calling Megan Bayne that big bitch. That shit is funny as fuck. But at least funny to me. But the main event, like I mentioned, it was the Ops versus Hangman versus Hook versus Eddie Kingston. This match had everything: hot tags, power moves. There were tag team and triple teaming on Hook, tag team and triple teaming on Eddie Kingston. Then again, Hangman gets the hot tag. Hobbs finally takes Hangman to the stage, power slams him through a table, knocks him out. Hook's been having back injuries back issues with the entire match for the most part. Kingston's in the ring, beating him down. He tries to fight back. They overpower him. Ends up winning. The Ops wins. Honestly, I was in shock. They made the Ops look really strong during this match. Yeah, they were taking cheap shots, but the Ops looked strong as hell during this match. I don't see Samoa Joe beating Hangman, but the Ops is definitely going to get involved. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great one.